Okay, so they want an equation from this. I need two things from an equation. I need a pattern, and I need to start. Let me zoom in a little bit more. So I look here, plus 3, plus 3, plus 3. So that's 3. Make sure you show that a pattern is something that happens more than once. Okay, it doesn't have to be in pink, but if you just write plus 3, you're telling me you don't know that it's a pattern. And then a start is something that has a 0. Well, I don't see a 0. So I go 3, 2, 1, 0. Instead of going plus 3, we go backwards. Minus 3, minus 3, minus 3. Boom, there's my equation. If it was written as a function, it would be t of n equals 3n plus 13. It could also be written like this. Okay. If it says equation, though, this works. If it says function, it'll be written like this. Okay. Let's see. Frank wants to buy a backpack. He charges $9 per backpack, $9 per backpack. So that means that's the pattern, because per means it happens again and again. It's a pattern. He has a total of $50. So he has a total of $50. How can you represent the domain and range in words? Oh, okay. So they want the domain and range. So domain represents X and range represents Y. So how do I know what X is? How do I know what Y is? Well, I look here and I need to know how many backpacks I have. That way I know how much money I can spend. Okay. So that means I could either buy one backpack at $9, two backpacks at 18, 3 at 27, 4 at 36, because I'm going times 9, 5 at 45, 6 at 54, but the problem is I only have $50. So it looks like the maximum amount of backpacks I could buy would be 5. I guess I could even buy 0 backpacks, couldn't I? So my domain would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oops, set notation. Sorry, it's not my best work. I can't write that it's between 0 and 5 because you can't get half a backpack. So there's my domain, and my range would be 0, 9, 18, 27, 36, 45. In a sense, I could also say that those are multiples of 9 because I multiply by 9 to get the answer. Okay. Use this table to predict the total money after 5 days. So I look here, this is plus 8, but this is not plus 8. But if I go times 3, okay, now there's a pattern. I'm going to go a little bit lower here. So I'm just going to continue the table here. 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to go 36 times 3. Let me go get a calculator really quick. So I'm going to continue the pattern. I'm going to go 36 times 3, which I think is 108. Yay. And then now I'm going to go times 3, which is 324. And then I go times 3, which is 972. So I guess I didn't need a calculator. Okay. So, they want to know the total money after 5 days, 972. I don't actually know if it's dollars or not. It just says money. Okay. Keep in mind, some of these could be multiple choice. So just make sure that you're reading the question carefully. It's easy to make mistakes. All right, graph the equation using any method, but make sure you show your steps. Most of you will solve for y. So that means I need this by itself. So let me zoom that in a little bit more. So I've got to move this, this, and this. This I can add and subtract. I'm going to do that all in one step. I get 2y equals 3x minus 6 divided by 2. Remember, I like dividing them individually. That way I'm careful and I don't make silly mistakes. There's my answer in slope-intercept form. So, oops. First thing I do is I go down 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Excuse me. And then I do my slope, which slope is either up and right or down and right. And since it's positive, it's going to be up and right. If it was negative, I would go down and right. So from this point, up 3, right 2, but I got to make it perfect. Up 1, 2, 3, right 2. I can't go anymore. Down 1, 2, 3, left 2. Now that I've made it perfect, I know I was kind of off there because it's kind of hard to see. I show that it's a line that goes forever. If you don't show me that it goes forever, you're not going to get full credit. Now there's another way to do this. I could have put this in standard form. So I could have rewritten this. I could have switched the orders here. Negative 3x plus 2y. And then I could have just moved the 6 over. And I could have just graphed the intercepts. So the intercepts would be 2, 0, because negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Hey, look, it matches. And then I could have done the y-intercept, 0, negative 3, because 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Hey, look, it's right there. You want to do it slope-intercept form? Great. You want to just find the intercepts? Great. Show your work, graph the line, show. It goes forever. All right. Next one, they want you to plug in negative 3. But you want to be careful, because this is actually negative 1 times negative 3 cubed plus 2 times negative 3 squared minus negative 3 minus 5. Okay? I'm always going to do exponents first. 3 cubed means 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. Negative 27 times negative 1 is positive 27. If you don't know that, you can use your calculator to get the exponent. So make sure you put it in parentheses. So you have to go negative 3 to the third power, and it tells you negative 27 times negative 1, and there's my 27. Okay. Do this next. Negative 3 squared. A negative times a negative is a positive. Times 2 is positive 18. A negative and a negative make a positive. Minus 5. 27 plus 18 is 45. Plus 3 minus 5, I'll move that up. 48 minus 5 is 43. Okay, my answer isn't 43. My answer is f of negative 3 equals 43. If you just give me the 43 and not the f of negative 3, you will not get full credit. All right, now they want the equation. When they want the equation, they want y equals something x plus b. So remember, our b was our blue. It was what crossed that y-axis, just like it did here, and that's at positive 2. See, it matches the negative 3. Then remember back here, I said you either go up and right or down and right. Well, if I went up and right, there would be nothing there. So I find where it crisscrosses here at down 1 and right 2. Negative 1/2 simplifies to negative 1/2, and there is my equation. Okay. Let's turn the page. Write an equation that is parallel. So parallel means I'm going to take the slope and then dump the rest, and then use this to help me out. First thing I do, y equals mx plus b. You have to write y equals mx plus b. I don't care. But the thing I like about doing that is I know by putting the x here, this goes there and not there. That is a common mistake you will put. So my m goes here, my x goes here. I don't know my b. If I knew my b, why would I be doing this work? When I multiply by a half, I can either use my calculator or take half of the number. Half of 8 is 4 negative, plus b equals negative 3. I'm trying to get the b by itself, so plus 4 plus 4. If you're not sure what negative 3 plus 4 is, pick up your calculator. But don't put minus, because if you put minus, then it's telling you that previous answer you had in the calculator is it. You have to press the negative button. So negative 3 now, if you had a minus, would be applicable. But it's actually plus 4. Okay? So b equals 1. Yay, I have my blue. Remember, I need two things for an equation. I need pink, I need blue. I need pattern, I need start. I need slope, I need y-intercept. Y equals 1/2 x plus 1. I can double check. Half of negative 8 is negative 4. Negative 4 plus 1 is negative 3. So I'm good to go. All right, find the domain and the range in interval and set notation. Domain is x, range is y. Okay, so domain has everything to do with everything that goes right and left. It goes right forever and it goes left forever. So the domain is all real numbers. And in interval notation, that's negative infinity to positive infinity. Let's do the domain over here. Domain, look, it's going everything to the left and everything to the right. So the domain is all real numbers, negative infinity to positive infinity, because it's going everything to the left and everything to the right forever. This one isn't going everything to the left and to the right. It has a limit. This is where it's from the left to the right, and everything in the middle. So the domain is between -1, notice how I line it up for my own sanity, to 7, it's the x, so it goes in the middle, less than equal to, less than or equal to. In interval notation, when it's equal to, you need a bracket. So -1 to 7, that also has a bracket. So I just did everything domain, so you can see the relationships. Everything right, everything left. Everything right, everything left. Limit, limit, in between. Now the range is everything up, everything down. Well, if you look, it's going up and up forever, and if you look, it's going down and down forever. So the range is all real numbers, -infinity to +infinity. Now, this one, it's everything up, but not everything down. So in a sense, it starts here and goes up. So that means my y gets bigger because it goes from here and up, greater than or equal to -3. Okay, because that means it's -3 all the way to +infinity. In set or in interval notation, that would be bracket -3 to +infinity parenthesis. Infinity is always in parentheses because it goes forever. Okay, the range is everything up, everything down. See how this was here forever? This doesn't even have anything forever. This is the top, this is the bottom. So that's the top, that's the bottom. In set notation, it always has to be the smallest on the left, the biggest on the right. Y, less, less, and then bracket -9, -1. Okay, so hopefully you saw the difference between them. Okay, now what I have to do is draw a function based on these parameters. Oh, well, first I can set it in interval notation. I'll do that because I can do that. Y is less than 2, so that means it's -2 and down. So that means everything down here is negative, and oops, you can't see that, I'm sorry. So it's everything down. This is -infinity, okay? So it's -infinity parentheses to -2. But see how here this had a line on the bottom, so it was a bracket? This does not have a line on the bottom. It's a parenthesis. This one reminds me a lot of this one. So instead of it going up, it's everything down. It looks like it starts at -2 and goes down. There's a lot of different options. One option, I could make a V going down, starting at -2 going down. I could make a U going down. I could even make, here, let me be obnoxious, I can make a squiggle. Oops, you can't see that again, sorry. A squiggling going like this, and then something going like this. It doesn't matter. Okay? All right. This will be bonus, and this will be if you create a function, can you create the equation? So let's call this A, this B, and this C. If you make this C, you cannot create an equation for it. But if I did B, I could say Y is equal to, this is the letter V, or I'm sorry, yeah, and V is absolute value. Okay? Now, it's going to depend on what you do. So the vertex here is 2, -2. So you do the opposite, and then -2. This is bonus. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. This is a parabola. A parabola means x squared. Oh, and it's down, so it's negative. So this would be negative. This time the vertex looks like -4, -2. So you do the opposite, and then that. It's bonus. Don't worry about it. No big deal. Okay. Let's see. Trying to build a pattern. He has certain information. He knows that figure 2 has 11 tiles. Figure 7 has 26. Okay. So this would be plus 15. This is plus 5. I'm doing this fast because it only goes to 15 minutes. Equals 3. That's my slope. Then I do y equals mx plus b. I'll pick this point, plug it in, label it x and y. 11 equals 3 times 2 plus b. 11 equals 6 plus b. Subtract 6. Sorry, it's about to run out of time. I got my m, I got my b. Y equals 3x plus 5. But it says they want you to use n and t of n. So you give me this, you will not get full credit. T of n equals 3n plus 5. How can I check it? If I plug in 7, 3 times 7 is 21, plus 5 is 26. So I know I'm good.